I used to think I was a serious reader. I took tons of notes that took me hours, trying to do what I thought was right for reading. But I remembered almost nothing. Reading felt heavy and it felt like work. And eventually I stopped reading altogether. What I realized later completely changed how I read. And it came down to one simple rule that forces your brain to stop reading badly. The mistake I was making is the same one almost everyone makes. And once you see it, well, you can't unsee it. Here's what my reading looked like back then. I finished a chapter and feel productive because I had pages of notes, like literally thousands of words. But a week later, if you asked me what the book said, well, my mind went blank. Like I couldn't articulate pretty much anything. And that's when reading started to feel pointless. Every book felt like homework, and I procrastinated because I knew reading meant sitting down for an hour just to do it properly. Eventually, I avoided books altogether. The worst part wasn't forgetting. It was realizing that all that effort wasn't turning me into a better thinker. The problem wasn't that I wasn't trying hard enough. The problem was that my brain was never being forced to do anything with what I read. And once I understood how learning actually works, everything changed. Most people think reading is about input, more pages, more notes, more highlights. But real learning happens during output, when you're forced to recall, question, and apply what you just read. That realization led me to the simple rule I now use for every chapter I read. And cognitive science backs this up. Research shows that rereading and traditional note-taking feel productive, but produce weak memory. In contrast, methods that force retrieval, pulling ideas from memory without looking, dramatically improve retention. In fact, a well-known study by Karpik and Blunt showed that students who practice retrieval remember nearly twice as much as those who just reread. Once I aligned my reading with this principle, the way I read completely changed. Here's my 3-2-1 system, and it's super simple. The first is 3 key ideas. I pull out only 3 ideas that actually mattered. Not everything, just ideas worth remembering. Next is 2 questions. I write 2 questions the chapter raised, things I want to test, explore, or challenge. Finally, I choose one small action I'll take this week based on what I read. I don't care where you write this, margins, the end of the chapter, a scratch sheet, or even on a napkin. I've done all of those. The point isn't perfect notes. The point is forcing your brain to engage. When you read this way, books stop feeling heavy. Reading stops being about discipline and starts being about clarity. You're no longer collecting information, you're building understanding. But none of this matters if you struggle to finish books. So watch this video next because I'll show you how to do just that. Keep learning, keep growing, keep going, and I'll see you in the next one.